How does a woman with a full future disappear in broad daylight after trusting the one person she never questioned? 11:42 a.m. Last known sighting, disbelief tightening into dread. The sun was already high, the kind of morning that makes promises feel safe. Landon Pierce stepped outside with plans stacked neatly in her head. Nothing about that moment warned her it would be the last time she moved freely. Stay with this story, because what stopped her wasn't sudden violence. It was trust, slowly misplaced, noticed only after it was too late. And one small daytime detail will fracture everything you think you understand. Landon had been counting days, not hours. A future outlined in simple things. Calls to make, places to go, a life already leaning forward. She wasn't running from anything. She wasn't afraid. She wasn't hiding. Mourning. No signs of distress. People saw her that day. They remember how ordinary she looked. That's what haunts them now. Grant Holloway believed he knew her rhythms. June Holloway trusted her instincts more than her own. Connor Blake assumed silence meant busy, not danger. Trust established. By midday, the quiet felt wrong, but not wrong enough. Phones refreshed. Messages stayed unread. No panic yet, just delay. Something was off, but subtle. The last person confirmed to be with Landon wasn't a stranger. It wasn't someone suspicious. It was someone who had never raised a single alarm. Last confirmed contact, Miles Rowan. Miles didn't rush. He didn't disappear. He stayed exactly where someone innocent would stay. That's why no one questioned him at first. No immediate red flags. By late afternoon, the absence had weight. Not fear yet, recognition. That slow understanding that time had moved forward without her. One detail surfaced then. Small. Easy to dismiss. But one detail didn't add up. Landon had made plans for that evening. Plans she never broke. Plans she never ignored. And yet she never arrived. If Landon didn't choose to vanish, and nothing violent was seen, then why did the truth point back to the person everyone trusted most? Why did Miles Rowan change one detail, only after the clock mattered? 2:17 p.m. Timeline shifts, unease sharpening. By afternoon, the waiting hardened. Not panic, calculation. Grant replayed the morning aloud. June listened for what wasn't said. Connor noticed the pause before answers. Stories compared. Miles spoke calmly, too calmly, and then one detail slid. The time. Not the place. The time. Statement updated. No accusation yet. Just a quiet mark where certainty used to be. Someone asked why Landon's evening plans were missed. Miles answered quickly. Too quickly. Why rush? Daylight kept moving. Trust thinned. And in that thinning, a realization landed, soft, final. If the timeline bends, someone is pushing it. What reason would make the most trusted person rewrite minutes that no longer belong to them? What if the moment everyone trusted never happened the way it was described? 3:04 p.m. Timeline under review, disbelief turning cold. The timeline didn't crack all at once. It thinned. Grant noticed gaps between minutes that should have touched. June felt the weight of an answer that arrived too early. Connor stopped asking questions out loud. Inconsistencies surface. Miles repeated his version. Word for word. That was the problem. Real memories shift. Rehearsed ones don't. Someone mentioned Landon's last call. Miles nodded before the call was described. A slip. Small. Irreversible. Premature confirmation. Daylight offered no cover. No chaos to hide behind. Just clarity pressing in. By then, everyone understood the same thing silently. Landon didn't vanish into nowhere. She stopped moving forward at a moment someone else controlled. If Miles wasn't telling the truth about the when, what else had he already decided for her? Why did Miles decide what Landon needed without ever asking her? 3:41 p.m. Control identified. Realization sinking. The truth didn't arrive loud. Settled. Grant caught the pattern first. Not in words, but direction. Every choice that day bent away from Landon's plans and toward Miles's comfort. Decisions redirected. June remembered a sentence Miles used. not concern. Permission. He spoke as if Landon had agreed, before anyone heard her voice. Consent assumed. Connor noticed how Miles framed the day. Not what happened. What should have happened. That's when it surfaced. Control doesn't rush. It edits. Behavior reframed. By late afternoon, the question wasn't where Landon went. It was when her choices stopped being hers. If Miles felt entitled to decide for her in daylight, what did he believe he was protecting? What explanation sounds reasonable until you hear who benefits from it? 4:12 p.m. Motive emerges, betrayal crystallizing. Miles finally offered a reason. Not a confession, a justification. He spoke about safety, about timing, about what was best. Rationale introduced. Grant felt it land wrong, because Landon never needed permission to live her own day. June heard the shift from concern to ownership. Words that wrapped control in care. Protection or possession? Connor caught the tell. Miles kept centering himself in outcomes, what he avoided, what he spared, what he endured. Who benefits? By then, the daylight had done its work. No shadows, no confusion, just a truth everyone reached at the same time. Miles didn't lose Landon. He reframed her absence. If the story was built to protect Miles, what part of Landon's day was removed to make it work? What crucial detail vanished from the story without anyone noticing? 4:45 p.m. Missing piece, tension twisting into dread. Everyone replayed the day in their minds. Small moments, tiny choices. Something always felt off, but it was too subtle to name. Details rechecked. Grant remembered the text Landon sent that morning. Briar Monroe noticed Landon's smile in a photo hours later. Connor realized a meeting Landon insisted on never happened. Unattended commitments. Miles had subtly erased her steps. Not violently, not angrily, quietly, like a pen removing lines from a page. Actions omitted. June felt the weight first. The plan she loved, the small triumphs Landon looked forward to, all gone. And no one had thought to check why. Plans vanished. By late afternoon, the daylight revealed more than warmth. It revealed absence. Not chaos. Not accident. Absence by design. If Landon's day could be erased, what other truths were buried beneath the polite explanations? How do you realize the person you trusted most held the power to rewrite your life and still get away with it? 5:15 p.m. Daylight exposes everything, cold understanding settling into heartbreak. The sun hung low, but no shadows could hide the truth. Landon's plans were gone. Her day stolen, not violently but intentionally, quietly. The day erased. Grant felt the weight of every moment he had missed. Connor's eyes stayed on Miles, tracing every move he thought inconspicuous. June wept softly, mourning the life Landon should have lived today. Trust shattered, but in that quiet grief something grew. Justice doesn't always arrive immediately. Sometimes it waits, like the sun, until the light reveals what's been hidden. Truth will find its way. Miles would answer for what he had done. And Landon, though her day was stolen, was remembered. Her plans, her hopes, her voice, they would not vanish quietly. Sometimes the person you trusted most becomes the reason the world finally sees the truth. Subscribe to the Veil of Secret. Uncover the stories that refuse to stay hidden.